On page 13, I want us to go through this schematic summary of the process of investing trust money. So client deposit money into the Practice Trust Bank account. So the first one is a legal. So we on 7.4 on page 13. A legal practitioner of their own accord decides to invest the money currently not required for a specific purpose in legal practice Fidelity Fund approved bank until it is needed for fees and costs. So in this one, it's just saying that the legal practitioner will decide to invest their client's money that is not required for a specific purpose at that time. Next point is paid. After that, they will pay into the trust investment account. So the legal practitioner will pay this money that is currently not required for a specific purpose. It is paid into the trust investment account, so that either a savings account or other interest-bearing account. So all of this that I'm saying will be part of Section 86.3 investment. And the interest earned on the investment the interest paid with regards to Section 86.3 investment, 100% of it will be paid to the legal practitioner's Fidelity Fund. So regarding Section 86.3 investment, what you need to take out of it is the legal practitioner makes the decision. So the legal practitioner will decide in their own accord that they will invest money, they will invest their client's money that is not required for a specific purpose. So they will basically take that money out of the trust bank and invest it in an interest-bearing bank account. So if the legal practitioner decides to invest money that is not required for a specific purpose, 100% of that interest earned in that investment will go to the legal practitioner's Fidelity Fund. And that money, 100% of it, will be paid over annually to the legal practitioner's fund. And this is in terms of this investment is called Section 86.3 investment. If the legal practitioner decides to invest the client's money that is not required for a specific purpose. So they will invest that money up until it is needed for fees and costs. So just to give you a overall explanation, last Friday we did I don't know if I can just share that. Let me just share that exercise we did last week Friday, just to give you more perspective of where we are this with regards to learning unit 7. I'm gonna go to learning unit 6. So we're still on page 13, but I just want to share something that we did last week with you, just to give you an overview of how the chapters go together. So all the chapters go together. They're not separate. So if you understood Learning Unit 6, Learning Unit 7, you'll be fine. You'll be fine with Learning Unit 7. So last week, guys, we went through this exercise together on Friday. So basically this exercise, remember that MMT attorney received money from the client on the 1st and service was rendered on the 30th. So in this case, so just to give you more perspective, just using this example is the trust bank 20,000 was received. Let me just take it out. So in this case, on the trust bank, 20,000 was received. So it was trust bank debit and then trust creditor credit 20,000. So in this example, with regards to Learning Unit 7, Learning Unit 7, the divorce that was expected to happen in this example for Learning Unit 7, it didn't happen. So service was not rendered. And the client came back to say the divorce at the present moment it's not going to be happening anytime soon. So the client informed attorneys to say that the divorce that was expected to happen on the 30th of June is not happening. And it might not happen within the next 2 to 3 years or so. So attorneys decides that they will invest that money into an interest-bearing account. So in this example, this regarding Learning Unit 7, that 2 months, remember here I said MMT attorney received money from Mhlahali client on the 1st of April as she foresees a divorce in the next 2 months. So in the next 2 months, that divorce didn't happen. So this didn't happen in the next 2 years. So the divorce did not happen. So the divorce did not happen in the next 2 years, and the client advised the attorney that she foresees that so she foresees that it won't happen. She foresees that it will not happen in the next, maybe let's just say next 2 years or so. So in that case, guys, the only thing that's been here is this, the 20,000. So I'm gonna take out, because service was not rendered, I'm gonna take out this. Take out. So basically in this Learning Unit 7, the transfer procedure doesn't happen because service is not rendered as yet. And regarding section 86, regarding section 86.3, when the attorney decides to decides to invest the money into an interest-bearing account. Decides to invest the money into an interest-bearing account on their own accord. It's whereby money that the client transferred is still in the account and nothing is happening to it. So can you see all of this won't happen? The attorney won invoice. So basically, this is the case with regards to what's happening. To say that then MMT attorneys decides to invest the 20,000 into an interest-bearing bank account. So in this case, this money is, do you agree with me that 20,000 is in this account? Now, what's going to happen is, so basically now, this is what's happening now. Then MMT attorneys decides to invest the 20,000 into an interest-bearing bank account. So because the attorney decides to invest in their own account, this will be in terms of, this will be in terms of the section 86(3) investment. So guys, I want to show you how this works, but now I'm using the same example we did last week. Friday. So in this case, no work has been performed by the attorney. In terms of section 86(3) investment, the attorney decides to invest the money that is not due yet, that is not required as yet. So this is the case. Now, what is happening? Let's just say the attorney so MM attorney decides to let me just add that. Then MM attorneys decides to invest the 20,000 into interest-bearing bank account. On the 30th of June. So basically what happens is, remember Trust Bank originally had 20,000. So on the 30th of June, 30 June 2017, 20,000 is going to be out of So we're gonna what? We're gonna credit Trust Bank with 20,000. And what account do you think, guys, we need to debit? So this money is going out now because why is it going out? This is why it's going out of this account. Where is it going? So if you're crediting the Trust Bank, what account will be debiting? Alicia is saying African Bank. Alicia is saying we're gonna be, if the money is going out of the Trust Bank, it's going to African Bank, Alicia. And Karabo is saying it's going to African Bank. Karabo and Alicia said African Bank. So if we're gonna debit on the 30th of June, Trust Bank, and we're gonna, well done guys, because why are we doing that? Because the attorney decided. Oh, okay, and Tepiso agrees. So because the attorney made the decision, because the decision was made by the attorney to invest this money that is not required at present. So this 20,000 so the 20,000, so the attorney is investing this money because the client said they don't foresee this divorce until the next year. So they're gonna invest this amount up until in a year's time. So they're gonna invest investment will be the investment will be for a year at African Bank. So if it's gonna be a year, thus the money will be released. The investment will be released within a year, which will be the 1st of July 2018. So on the 1st of July, money will be transferred out of the African Bank to the Trust Bank. But on the 30th of June 2018, this interest-bearing investment received an interest of, let me just say, after a year, I'll just guess, say 500. So now, the interest now, it is 500. So this money now from African Bank is gonna be released out of African Bank. And where is this money going to now? So this is going out of African Bank. Where are we taking this money? So it's after a year now. So after a year, Karabo is saying the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. So Karabo is saying 20,500. So remember, we're taking the initial investment plus the interest. Both the initial so Elisha is saying 20,000 David Trust Bank and 500 David Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. Karabo saying the 20,500 is going to the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. And Elisha is saying 20,000 you're gonna debit Trust Bank and 500 you're gonna debit Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. So guys, remember, everything revolves around the Trust Bank. Because this money, remember now the Trust Bank now, there's nothing. We took everything that's empty in the Trust Bank. So we cannot take money out of the trust, out of the investment and take it directly to the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. So everything revolves around here, around the Trust Bank. Before it can be distributed, it needs to go to the Trust Bank first. So you can't take take it out for security purposes. Remember, this money is not the practitioner's money. So the practitioner cannot take the money that's not theirs and take out that money from African Bank and distribute it to Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. That money needs to go first to the Trust Bank, then it can be distributed accordingly. So we're going to debit the full amount. We're going to credit the full amount, which is 20,500, and then debit the Trust Bank. So remember now here it is 0, it was in and out. Now there is an opening balance of 20,500. Are you still with me? So everything revolves around the Trust Bank. So the full amount of 20,500 will go to the Trust Receipt Journal. That is the full amount. Now that the money is in the Trust Bank, what's going to happen now? The 500, which is the interest, is not part of Trust Bank. Do you agree with me? It's not part of, it doesn't belong to the practitioner, doesn't belong also to the client. It belongs to who? The 500 interest. Because remember, we're dealing with Section 86(3) investment. Yes. 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 Guys, please mute your mics, please. Please mute your mics. Please, somebody's mic is not muted. So remember, a legal practitioner, there has to be now on the first So because we're dealing with Section 86.3 investment, 100% of the interest will be due to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. 100%, which is 500, is due to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. So at the moment, I just shown you an example of Section 86.3 investment. So the first thing is money is being deposited by the client. Then that money is out, is going to is going, so that money is in. So basically, let's see. So basically, I just want to show you what we just did now regarding Section 86.3 investment. So I'm gonna just do this under each journal. So basically in this, when you're doing this Section 86.3 investment, and now you wanna do journals for it. So you're gonna say debit, So basically, this is now the journal when money now is received. It's received plus interest. So this is the money plus interest that will go to the trust bank. So basically, I've seen in these exercises, they're not putting the initial amount. So when you see an exercise, you'll only see debit, trust bank, credit, 2,500. So basically, most students would not be aware that this is on the trust bank. Please, please, please mute your mic. So in this case, in an exercise, they would put debit trust bank 2,500 and credit African bank 2,500. So this is the money with interest, but the initial money that the client transferred was, can you see guys, 20,000. The initial amount was 20,000. That was the client had transferred. So I want you to look at that. Look at what I want. One thing that I wanted to just show you and clarify with you is on the exercises, you only see the amount, which is the investment amount, the amount including the interest. So debit trust bank 2,500 and credit African bank 2,500. Then when we go to this, the 20,000, not this one. So another journal that you would need to know and understand is debit. Let me just take this one out. Guys, here, I just wanted to give you just a brief example of it, of what's really happening. So I'm not sure if everything is clear. I wanted to just give you a practical example of this. So I want us to go back to this. Let me just go here. I want to share learning unit on page. We're on page, which page were we on? Yeah, we were on page 13. So let's go back to page 13. I just want to share it. Yeah, so we're in page 13. We just did Legal practitioner, in their own accord, they will decide to invest money currently not required for a specific purpose in the legal practitioner's fidelity fund, and they will pay that money into the trust investment account. And this is section 86.3 investment. Interest earned on the investment will be paid over 100% to the legal practitioner's fund. So the next one is section 86.4 investment. So the client instructs the legal practitioner to invest the money in the legal practice fidelity fund approved bank until it is needed for fees and costs and paid into the trust investment account, either savings account or interest bearing account. So this is called section 86 for investment. So in this case, interest earned is paid over monthly. 95% goes to the client and 5% goes to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. So basically in this example, the 500 will be split. So 500 will be 95%, 500 times 95% will go to the legal practitioner's fund, and then 5% of 500 will go to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. So basically, that is the difference between the two. So you will, when you do the journals, it will be the same thing. So in this case, it's 500 that goes to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. That will be the full 500 rand. But when it comes to the section 86 for investment, whereby the client instructs the legal practitioner to invest on their behalf, the interest will be split. 95% will go to the client because that's the client that made the instruction, and the 5% will go to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. So on the 500, you're going to say 500 times 5%, which will go to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund, and the remainder will go to the client. So basically that is that. So I just want us to just do this quick exercise. So this is the exercise I want us to do. So it's just a 3-question true or false. So the following information was obtained from accounting records of Mapina attorneys. So on the 1st of June, Mapina attorneys decided to invest 400,000 of surplus funds not immediately needed in an interest-bearing savings account with African Bank. On the 30th of June, Mapina withdrew the 450,000 from the savings account with African Bank and deposited it in the trust bank. So the question is, subsidiary journals properly totaled. Trust journal, trust cash journal, trust cash payment journal, and trust journal. So there's 3 journals that you have to do to incorporate this information. So you need to complete a trust cash receipts journal, trust cash payment journal, and a trust journal. Please note that the trust investment were made in terms of Section 86 of the Legal Practice Act 28 of 2014. Please advise if the following journals are true or false. So the trust cash receipts journal for Mapina attorneys will be trust will be 450,000. Is that true or false? Is this journal correct? In terms of Section 86.3 investment. So number 1, is it true or false, guys? Alicia saying false. Tepiso saying false. On the 30th of June, Mapina Attorney withdrew 450,000 from the savings account with African Bank and deposited it in the trust bank. Lehlo says true. Lehlo says true. Elisha is saying, actually, it's true. Actually, it is true. Tepiso is saying true. So I'm going to say that again. Yes. Yes. Mapina attorneys decided to invest 400,000 of the surplus funds not immediately needed in an interest savings account with African Bank. On the 30th of June 2020, Mapina attorneys withdraw 450 from the savings account with African Bank and deposited it in the trust bank account. Is it true or false? Is it true or false, guys? Most students are saying true. Is this true or false? Unati saying true. Guys, well done. This is true. This is true because on the 30th of June, Mapina attorneys withdraw 450. So what is 450? It's the initial investment of 400 plus the 50,000 interest. So on the trust bank here is the initial investment plus the interest, which makes it 450,000. Number two, the journal number two, is it true or false? Trust cash receipts journal. This journal for the trust cash payment journal, is it true or false? Elisha Unati saying true. Lihlo true. Elisha true. Elisha saying true. Is this true or false? Journal number, the trust cash payment journal. Tepiso saying false. Is this true or false? Is this true or false, guys? Is this true or false? Guys, is this true or false? Is number 2 true or false? Is number 2 true or false? Karabo is saying true. Karabo is saying true. Karabo is saying true. So guys, well done. Number 2 is true. It's true because Mapina attorneys decided to invest 400,000 of the supplier's funds not immediately needed in an interest savings account. So the 400,000 is when the money went out of the trust bank and to African Bank to be invested. So this is true. The last journal is trust. Is this correct? Is number 3 correct? Yes, guys. Number 3, Karabo is saying true, Lisho true, Elisha is saying false. So number three is true because why is it true? 100% of the interest will go to the legal practitioners fidelity fund because why? Because the attorney made the decision on their own accord, and this is in terms of section 86 3. So this is correct, 100%, which is the interest of 50,000. So I'm going to add another fourth question. Trust creditor, trust investment account, African Bank. How much is it now? So you need to decide true or false. So after taking into account the trust receipts journal, the trust cash payment journal, and the trust journal, the balance on the trust on the section 86.3 trust investment bank account is 50,000. Is it 50,000? True or false? So I'm just adding another question here. Section 86.3, section 86.3 trust investment, African Bank, trust creditor, balance as at end of June is a debit of 50,000. True or false? So those who are saying false, what is the balance? What is the balance if you're saying false? What should be the balance at the end of the June for the trust creditor section 86.3 trust investment? So if you are saying false, what is the balance? If you are saying false, why are you saying false? What if the balance is not 50,000 at the end of the June? What should be the balance? Alicia is saying 0. Please repeat the question again. So, Lisa, the question is under section 86.3 trust creditor, this account here, the section 86.3 trust investment African Bank account, the trust creditor, is the balance as at 30 June 2020 a debit of 50,000. But after taking into account the trust cash receipts, the trust cash payment, and the trust journal. After taking all of these, is the balance of section 86.3 trust investment 50,000. True or false? Elisha Tepiso is saying false. So Elisha is saying, I'm saying false because the balance at the end of June for Section 86.3 Trust Investment African Bank should be 50,000, should be zero, not 50,000. So Elisha is saying the balance should be zero, not 50,000 at the end of June. So Lihlo is saying the balance is zero because the money was withdrawn from the investment account. So it's false. Guys, well done. The answer is zero. Why is the answer zero? Let me just show you those who how Elisha and Lihlo go to zero. Let me show you how they go to zero. So in this trust cash receipts journal, the trust bank is debited with 450,000. And this trust creditor, Section 86.3 trust investment, it is credited with 450,000. So there's a 450,000 credit. So there is a 450,000 credit. And then when you look at the trust cash payment journal, there is a debit of this account here of 400,000. So if there's a credit of 450,000 and a debit of 400,000, already the balance has a credit of, now within the two journals, there is a balance of 50,000 credit. Now this investment is been paid, excuse me, is being paid needs to be paid to the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. So that credit of 50,000, there's going to be a debit of 50,000, which clears that account because this investment interest is for the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. So the 50,000 will go directly, 100% of it, to the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. Why? Because in terms of Section 86.3, if the attorney decides to invest the money on their own accord, that is not immediately needed. 100% of that interest will go to the Legal Practitioners Fidelity Fund. Guys, are you happy with that number? The fourth question. Are you all happy that the balance now is zero? Are you happy now that the balance is zero? Please note the following. Mapina attorneys decided to invest 400,000 of the supplier's funds, not immediately needed, in an interest-bearing savings account with African Bank. This is in terms of Section 86.3. Please see below what Section 86.3 states. In terms of Section 86.3 of the Legal Practitioners Act, a legal practitioner may transfer trust money which is not immediately needed to a trust, savings, or other interest-bearing investment account at a South African banking institution. It may, however, not be invested in the security exchange or unit trust. This money is taken from the pool of funds and not from a specific trust creditor. The decision to invest the supplier's money is made by the legal practitioner, and the following applies. The investment should be made with banks with which the legal practitioner's fidelity fund has entered into an arrangement. These investments remain part of the entrusted monies and are recorded as such in the trust accounting records of a legal practice. These investments enjoy protection from the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. The Legal Practice Act requires that the bank statements be endorsed with reference to Section 86(3) of the Legal Practitioners Act. The legislation also stipulates that the name of the trust investment account in the trust creditor's ledger include a reference to the specific section of the legislation applicable. For example, as Africa Section 86(3) Trust Investment, ABC Bank. Interest accrued must, in the case of money deposited in terms of this section, be paid over to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund and vests in the legal practitioner's fidelity fund. 100% of the trust interest earned will be paid on an annual basis to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund as provided by the rule 54.14.16.3 made under the authority of Section 95(1) of the Legal Practitioners Act. This is why number 3 is true. When the invested money is withdrawn from the investment account, it is deposited back into the trust bank account. The trust creditor can then be paid from the trust bank account. Interest earned in Section 86(3) trust investments must be paid over to the legal practitioner's fidelity fund, and therefore is not the property of the legal practitioners nor the trust creditor. So now, guys, I would just also want to do another quick example, because I want us to also go to correspondence learning unit 8, but I've got a last exercise that I want us to do in learning unit 7. The following information were obtained from the accounting records of Mapina attorneys. On the 1st of June, M. Hlagadi client instructed Mapina attorneys to invest 400,000 in an interest-bearing investment account at African Bank in terms of Section 86(4) of the Legal Practitioners Act. On the 30th of June 2020, Mapina attorneys withdrew 450,000 from the savings account with African Bank and deposited it in the trust bank account. So is journal number 1 true or false? In terms of Section 86(4). Elisha is saying true. Elisha is saying true. So I want you to look at 1, 1 to 3 and just comment to say 1, 2, 3, true, false, true. So don't now, just to save up time, I want you to answer number 1, 2, 3 at the same time. I want you to answer, guys, please, just to save up time because we still need to do Learning Unit 8. I want you to quickly just answer 1, 2, 3. So just basically say 1, true or false, 2, true or false, and 3, true or false. So don't just answer one question. Answer 1, 2, 3 at the same time. So I want you to tell me if 1, 2, 3 is it true or false. So when you answer, just say 1, true or false, 2. Okay, can you see? Let me just see. I don't know if you can see it fully, Lihlo. So this is the first one. This is the last. I don't know if you can see all the 3 questions, Lihlo. Okay, Lihlo is saying 1 true, 2 true, and 3 true. And Bulumko is saying 1 true, 2 true, and 3 true. Elisha is saying all 3 true. Okay, Lihlo is saying I can see. Guys, well done. Well done. All 3 are true. Well done. Well done on you guys. All 3 are true. I'm going to add another question, a 4th question. What is the balance of Section 86 for trust when you take into account trust cash receipts, trust cash payment, and the trust journal? What is the balance? Is the balance 50,000? Elisha is saying the balance for number 4, for question number 4, is not 50,000, is 0. Lihlo is saying 0. Karabo is saying it is 0. So the question that I'm asking is, what is the account So the question that I'm asking is, what is the balance of Mhlahadi section 86 for trust account? when you're taking into account what's been recorded in the trust cash receipts journal, in the trust cash payment journal, in the trust journal. What is this balance here of the Matilda Tlhagadi, M. Tlhagadi, Section 86 for trust investment? What is the balance? So I'm saying the balance is a debit balance of 50,000. So I'm saying this is the fourth question. So the fourth question, so Kanyisile is saying 47,500, 50,000 times 95%. So Kanyisile is saying it is 47,500. So Kanyisile is saying the answer is 47,500, which is 50,000 times 95%. So my question is, when you look at this exercise, M. Tlhagadi, Section 86 for trust investment balance as at the end of June. I'm saying the balance is a debit of 50,000. Is it true or false? So guys, the answer on the fourth, true, because Mapina did not invest on its own accord. So you're saying Mapina Section 86.4 trust investment. So this is the account that I'm talking about, the trust investment account. So Loftus is saying it is true that the balance has a debit balance of 50,000. So remember, we're dealing with Section 86.4. Section 86.4 says the client instructs the attorney to invest the money and in an interest-bearing bank account. And then when the interest comes out, is withdrawn, the legal practice fidelity funds get 5%, and the creditor, the trust creditor, which is the client, gets 95% when you're dealing with Section 86.4. So we agreed that number one is true. We agreed that number two is true. We agreed that number three is true. So the question that is being asked now is saying, I'm creating a fourth question. So the fourth question I'm asking you is, what is this M. Tlhagadi Section 86.4 trust investment account balance as at the 30th of June? So is the balance 50,000, a debit balance of 50,000? So guys, the answer is Elisha is correct, Lihlo is correct, Karabo is correct. The answer is 0. Why am I saying the answer is 0? M. Tlhagadi Trust Investment was credited with 450,000 and Trust Bank debited with 450,000. So this was a credit of 450,000. This was a debit of 400,000. So if there's a credit of 450 and a debit of 400, what is left between the two? There's a credit of 50,000. And then now the trust journal is a debit of 50,000. Then the effect is 0. That is why this account, that is why this account at the end is 0. I've got a fifth question, guys. Number 5 question is, what is the trust creditor M. Tlhagadi balance as at the 30th of June? So the options are, I need to say for you to say true or false. So I'm adding a fifth question. A fifth question is in terms of section 86.4, what is now the trust creditor M. Hlahadi balance as at the 30th of June? Is the balance let me just take, is the balance 400,000? Oh, Elisha is saying 447,500. So my question is the balance 400,000 or is the balance 47,500? So is it true or false? I'm saying the balance is 400,000. Is it true or false? And Elisha is saying 447,500. I'm saying the balance is 400,000 of trust creditor M. Hlahadi as at the end of June. I'm saying the balance is 400,000. Is it true or false? Lihlo is saying false. Garabo false. So those who are saying false, what is the answer when you say false? What is the answer if not 400,000? What is the answer? Four four seven 500. Khaswani is saying 447,500. Karabo is saying 47,500. And Tepiso is saying 47,500. I'm saying the answer is it true or false? I'm saying it's 400,000, the balance of trust creditor M. Hlahadi. Lihlo is saying 400,000 invest plus 4,7,500 interest is 447,500. Kanyisile saying 400,000 invest plus 447,500 interest, which is 447,500. False. It should be on the on trust debit. Yo, guys, I'm so impressed, eh? I'm so impressed. The answer is false. Why is it false? It is false because the initial investment was Trust Bank 400,000 debit and Trust Creditor 400,000 credit. Now we've earned, because of Section 86.4, Section 86.4 states that if the client instructs the attorney to invest money on their behalf, the interest earned, the client will get 95%, and the legal practitioner's fidelity fund will get 5% of that money. So in this case, the initial investment was 400,000 plus the interest of 47,500. So it is 400,000 plus 47,500, which is 447,500. Well done, guys. Can you see the well done? Lihlo, you correct. Elisha, can you, Haswani, Elisha, well done, guys. Well done. So, guys, another question I've got is, if this was a Section 86.3 investment, what would be the the trust creditor Mhlakati? If this, what will be the balance if this was a Section 86.3 investment instead of a Section 86.4? Elisha saying 400,000. Can you see the 400,000? Little. Yes, well done, guys. Yes, it will just remain as the invested amount because the interest, 100% of it, is going to the legal practitioners fidelity fund. Well done. Well done, guys. Eh? I'm so impressed. Well done. So now I think we can move to learning unit 8. So I'm on learning unit 8. And I'm just starting with a question. So I just want to know that what is the difference between the instructing and the instructed attorney? So Matilda Hlakadi, a client who resides in Mpumalanga, requests Mapina attorneys to collect maintenance money from her ex-husband who lives in Kempton Park and to register a trust for her children. As Mapina Attorneys only has an office in Mpumalanga, she has to instruct MMT attorneys and attorney in Kempton Park to collect the money and register the trust. So my question is, who is the instructing attorney and who is the instructed attorney in this? Matilda Hlakadi, a client who resides in Mpumalanga, requests Mapina attorneys to collect maintenance money from her ex-husband who lives in Kempton Park to register a trust to her children. To register a trust for children. As Mapina attorney only has an office in Mpumalanga, she has to instruct MMT attorney and attorney in Kempton Park to collect the money and register the trust. So Khaswani says Mapina instructing and MMT instructed. So Khaswani says Mapina is an instructing attorney and MMT is an instructed attorney. The recording, and Tepiso is saying the recording of money in the journals is one thing I'm struggling with, but I'm gaining a little light. I'll have to go through the study material and recordings again. Oh, okay, you'll be fine, Tepiso. The recording of money in journals is one thing I'm struggling with, but I'm gaining a little. That's good. Mapina attorneys is the instructing attorney and MMT is the instructed attorney. Elisha, so Kanyisile is saying Mapina attorney is the instructing attorney and MMT attorneys is the instructed attorney. Mapina attorneys instructing, so Elisha is saying Mapina attorney is instructing attorney and MMT attorney is the instructed. Loftus is saying Mapina attorneys is the instructing and instructed, and the instructed is MMT attorneys. Bulumko, Mapina attorneys is the instructing and MMT is the instructed. Lihlo is saying Mapina attorney is the instructing and MMT is the instructed. Are these questions in our study units that we got on the MyUNISA FSC? Oh, I'm not sure, Bongani. Sorry to sound lost. Are these questions in our study units that we got? No, this is the questions I've drafted for the class. Karabo saying Mapina attorney is the instructing attorney and MMT instructed attorney. And Tepiso is saying MMT is the instructed. Guys, well done on this. So the question was, who is the instructed attorney? Who is the instructing attorney? So great attempt on everyone, hey? This was a very, very great attempt. So it just shows that everybody's like working hard on the studies, eh? I can see the responses that everybody's just working hard. And by the sound of things, hopefully everybody's doing well. We'll be passing FSC 1503. So instructed attorney is MMT attorney. MMT attorney receives instructions to render a service on behalf of Mapina attorneys. So I think we all agree that Mapina attorneys is the instructing attorney. Mapina attorneys gives instructions to MMT attorneys to render a service on their behalf. So now I'm gonna just go through the learning unit. So guys, we're doing what we call correspondence. What are correspondence? What is a correspondent? So, and every attorney's practice has to make use of a service or of a correspondence at some point. The reason being that in some instances, the instruction from the client to the attorney can only be executed in a jurisdiction where the attorney does not have an office. A law firm must be within 15 kilometers must be within a 15-kilometer radius of the office of the registrar of the court. So basically a correspondent is somebody who acts, so a correspondent is basically a instructed attorney, because the instructing attorney is not in the jurisdiction. It's not in the jurisdiction. The reason being is that in some instances, the instruction from the client to the attorney can only be executed in the jurisdiction where the attorney does not have an office. So an instructed attorney is appointed because they are in the jurisdiction where the service needs to be rendered. So for example, a client in North who resides in Bombela requests Mlanga, an attorney, to collect child maintenance money from ex-husband in Midrand and to register a trust for her children. So as Mr. Langa only has an office in Bombela and the client is also in Bombela, but the collection is in Midrand. So he has to instruct SA attorney who's in the jurisdiction of where the ex-husband is, which is in Midrand, to collect the money and register the trust. The attorney who gives the instruction is known as the instructing attorney, and the attorney who receives the instruction renders the service is known as the instructed attorney. So this is the categories: instructions where no trust money is involved, instruction where trust money is involved. So basically now, when we do the correspondence, this is very important for you to understand the accounting statement. This is so important for you, especially in learning unit, to understand this. To understand the correspondence statement. So I just want us to go through this and make sure that we understand what is happening in this statement. So a correspondent account statement. So basically, this is a statement that is drawn by the instructed attorney to the instructing attorney. So this is just a summary of the instructed attorney saying to the instructing attorney, this is what I've done. This is a statement showing what you instructed me to do. So this is a summary saying, this is what you instructed me to do, and this is it. So basically here is, this is what SA attorney collected on behalf of Langa attorneys, 7,500. This is the fees for receiving instructions. So basically each one of this collections 7,000. So number one is saying M. Langa, Mr. Langa from Langa Attorneys receives a mandate from Enoth to act on her behalf in the registration of the trust and to collect child maintenance. Just want to go down. So I just want you to understand where these amounts are coming from. All the amounts. I want you to understand where this, understanding this. So let's go to number one, collection of money. So SA attorneys collected this money on behalf of Langa attorneys. So number one is saying money collected by the instructed attorney. So this is this one, money collected by the instructed attorney. So the instructed attorney, which is SA attorneys, collected money on behalf of Langa attorneys. Langa attorneys who's acting on behalf of their client, Enoth. So number one, according to account statement, SA attorneys collected, SA attorneys who's the instructed attorney collected 7,500 in the matter. Enoth, who is the client of Langa attorneys, in the matter of Enoth versus Zethnoth, Langa attorneys, who is the instructing attorney, is the beneficiary and the money cannot be paid out to another party. SA attorney, the instructed attorney, acts on behalf of Langa attorneys, which is the instructing attorney. It's trust creditor. not on behalf of Enoth. Guys, I want you to understand the statement here. It's so important. It's so important there. Because now we're busy in the accounting records of the instructed attorney. So when you're recording transactions in the accounts of the instructed attorney, Langa attorney is a trust creditor in the books of SA attorneys. Make sure you understand that what I'm saying now. Because SA attorney, the instructed attorney, is acting on behalf of Langa attorney, not Enoth, the client of Langa attorney. This makes Langa attorney a trust creditor of SA attorneys. Are you with me on that? Are you with me on that? This is so important for you to understand, especially when we're dealing with, remember when you're doing correspondence, you need to be able to understand how to record transactions in the books of SA attorneys and in the books of Langa attorneys. So I think in this example, we'll be recording transactions in the books of the instructed attorney, which is SA attorneys. So the collection of funds is made on behalf of third party, which is Enoth. Therefore, there are trust funds involved, and trust creditors' accounts needs to be open in the accounting records of the instructed attorney, which is SA attorneys. So guys, this money for 7,500, it is money that is collected on behalf of Langa attorneys. So whilst we're doing this, I want you to understand what way. So in the books, because we're recording this in the books of SA attorneys, which is the instructed attorney, in which subsidiary journal would you record this? What is this? In which subsidiary journal? The 7,500. This is money being collected on behalf of Langa attorneys. Where would you record this transaction here? This is money collected on behalf of Langa attorneys. And Langa attorneys in the books of SA attorney is a trust creditor. So when looking at the statement, immediately when you get the statement, you as the instructed attorney, where would you record this in your books? Because you're collecting, let's see. Lihlo is saying trust cash receipts journal. Khaswan is saying trust cash receipts journal. So Lihlo is saying trust cash receipts journal. Khaswan is saying trust cash receipts journal. And Karabo is saying trust cash receipts journal. Well done, guys. This is the money that is collected on behalf of a client, which is Langa Attorney. There it is. Let me just show you. When we do when we record this, where would we record this? Let's see, when we do the, yes, well done, guys. Can you see? So this will be, why are we recording this in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal? We're recording this in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal because this is money that is collected on behalf of a client, which is Langa Attorneys. So you're going to debit Trust Bank and credit Trust Creditor Langa Attorneys. Is that clear? Is that clear, guys? Do you understand why we're recording this in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal? So I want you, especially when you do this, when you've got a hard copy, especially when you're doing instructed attorneys books, write on the side there that this will be recorded in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal. Write on it. Right next to this, especially because this is where you go, the first recording you're gonna do when you're recording transactions, when you're recording transaction in the accounting records of the instructed attorney, which is SA attorney. So you're gonna debit Trust Bank with 7,500, and you're gonna credit Trust Creditor, which is Langa Attorneys, with 7,500, and this will be recorded in your Trust Cash Receipts Journal. So if a question comes up and there is this statement and they're asking you, where are you going to record this transaction? You need to know that this will be recorded in your Trust Cash Receipts Journal. Are you clear, guys? Are you clear with that? When you're recording transactions in the accounting records of the instructed attorney, the collection money that the instructed attorney, in this case, which is SA attorneys, the collection of that money, because that money SA attorneys is collecting on Langa attorneys, that money will be recorded in the accounting records of SA attorneys in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal, because this is money that belongs to a trust creditor Langa Attorneys. Are you clear with that, what I just said? Is everybody clear? Is everybody clear with what I just said? Right, guys, write it on the side if you've got a hard copy, that in the books of the instructed attorney, this will be recorded in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal. So we're going to number 2, fees for receiving instruction. Fees for issuing summons to Z North. So number 2 and number 3, we'll just look at it together as one thing. 2, 3, I think they mentioned 2, 3, and 6, collection commission. So 2, 3, and 6, fees for receiving instruction. The instructed attorney charges a fee for receiving an instruction, spending his or her time on the instruction. Fees for issuing summons. The instructed attorney charges a fee for issuing a summons which involved spending his or her time on the issue of summons. Collection commission. The instructed attorney charges a fee based on the amount collected. So I just want us to look at what is the collection commission. There is somewhere up there that talks about collection commission. What is a collection commission? Collection commission is also added when the data pays directly into the company's trust account. A percentage, therefore, is kept for costs. It may be 10% of the amount collected, but calculated amount may not exceed 1,000. So the collection commission is 10%. Is 10% of the collection amount. And that amount may not exceed 1,000 Rand. So if what that means is if 100,000 is collected, 10%, what is 10% of 100,000? It's about what, 10,000. So this exceeds the 10,000. So this cannot be, the collection commission cannot exceed 1,000. So in that case, if the instructed attorney collected 100,000 and 10% of 100,000 is 10,000, the collection commission will be only 1,000 in that case. So in this case, let's just look. The collection amount is 7,500. So the collection commission will be 10% of this, which will be 750. Are you with me, guys? So this is 10% of the collection amount. That is the collection commission. But the collection commission may not exceed 1,000. So my question is number 2, number 3, and number 6. Where would you record that? Where would you record 2, 3, and 6 in the accounting records of SA attorneys, the instructed attorney? Where would you record fees for receiving instruction, fees for issuing summons, and collection commission? So Elisha is saying fees journal, Khaswane fees journal, Kanyisile fees journal, and Lihlo fees journal. Let's just look. Where is this recorded? Where is this recorded? Well done, guys. Well done. Can you see? Can you see? This is the invoice that the instructed attorney, SA attorneys, is invoicing Langa attorneys for work performed. So it's 2, 3, and 6 added together, which is 1146. So guys, just make sure that it's 1146. So if you've got a hard copy of this, please add up right next to fees that this will be recorded in the fees journal. Here, this will be recorded in a fees journal. This will be recorded in a fees journal, and will be recorded in the fees journal. And the amount of it all added together is 330 plus 66 plus 750. That gives us that 1,146 in the fees journal. So basically, this is the amount that SA attorney, the instructed attorney is invoicing Langa attorneys for work done, for work performed. Okay, so now let's look at the tracing fees paid. Number 4, tracing fees and sheriff fees. Number 4 and 5. So these are expenses incurred. So SA attorneys, the instructed attorney, incurred expenses in collecting the money from Z North, the client of Langa attorneys. They've incurred tracing costs and sheriff costs. It can be assumed that these types of expenses were incurred before the money was collected. SA attorneys will therefore pay fees from its business bank account on behalf of Langa attorneys, with the results that Langa attorneys becomes an ordinary client regarding these expenses. So please note that SA attorneys will pay fees from its business account on behalf of Langa attorneys. If the money is collected from Z North on behalf of Langa attorneys, SA attorneys, which is the instructed attorney, will have to set off the client account and the trust creditors account of Langa attorneys against each other to determine the net amount of the trust EFT payable to Langa attorneys. If SA attorneys could not collect any money from Z North, Langa attorney will have to compensate SA attorneys for the expenses incurred. So in this case, guys, where will this two be recorded? Number 4 and 5. Business cash payment journal in the books of SA attorneys, the instructed attorney. Can you see there is saying business cash payment journal? Elisha is saying business cash payment journal. Where would you record this? Because SA attorneys incurred these expenses before collecting the money on behalf of Langa attorneys. So where would you record the tracing fees paid and the sheriff costs? Haswan is saying business cash payment journal. Tandolwe 2, business cash payment journal. And Lilo is saying the business is paying, so business cash payment journal. So let's just look here. Can you see, guys? Can you see, guys? This is it. Trust cash payment journal. So let's just add it together. No, I'm looking at the wrong account. This is not the trust. I must look at the business cash payment journal. So can you see? Can you see? So we're gonna debit. You're gonna credit bank and credit client control. So this is the money that is owed to SA attorneys by Langa attorneys. So yes, guys, this will be recorded in the business cash payment journal. This is correct. So now your 1/3 share of fees. what is your 1/3 of fees allowance? Let's just go up and just read more on this. Calculation of the 1/3 correspondent allowance. Let's just A correspondent allowance may be granted by the instructed attorney to the instructing attorney. Just read there. This is so important for you to understand. A correspondent allowance may be granted by the instructed attorney to the instructed attorney. So in this case, the correspondent allowance is granted by SA attorney to Langa attorneys. A maximum of 1/3 of fees, professional and collection commission charged may be granted. The allowance may be less than 1/3, of the fees charged, but not more. The correspondent allowance may only be granted between practitioners. 1/3 allowance is only payable on the fees of the attorney. It is not calculated on any expenses that are paid directly to the third parties, such as advocate costs, sheriff costs. These are seen as cost disbursements or expenses, not as fees of attorneys. So calculation of the 1/3 of fees is based on professional and collection commission. So let's just go down to the exercise. So it's based on the fees. Can you see? It's based on these. So basically, I want you, this is what I wanna make you understand. The invoice that the instructed attorney will invoice Langa attorney, the instructing attorney. 1/3 of that invoice is the share of allowance of the instructing attorney. I'm going to repeat that. This is the invoice that SA attorney invoiced Langa attorneys for work done. 1/3 of that, 1/3 of that will be paid to Langa attorneys. So when they say your 1/3 share of fees, they are saying Langa attorneys share of fees. Are you with me, guys? Do you understand? When they say your 1/3 share of fees, they are basically saying Langa attorney, the instructing attorneys 1/3 share of fees. Where is this gonna be recorded? So is the invoice, let's just look here. The invoice that was issued by Langa, by SA attorneys to Langa attorneys was this was that 1,140, 1,146. So of the 1,146, 1/3 of it must be paid to Langa attorneys, which is 382. So where would you record this? In which journal would you record this in the books of SA attorneys, the instructed attorney? Where would you record that? Where would you record Langa attorney's 1/3 share of fees? In which journal would you record that? In which journal would you record Langa attorney's 1/3 share of fees, which is an allowance of 300? Guys, this will reduce your fees journal. This will reduce your fees journal. This will affect your fees. Can you see? This will affect your fees because you've invoiced Langa attorneys 1,146, but in that 1,156, you have to pay Langa attorneys 1/3 of it, which is 382. So basically, the 1/3 is decreasing. The 1/3 is decreasing. Is decreasing your invoice. So can you see they're saying fees journal since it's Langa's shares? Yes. So this is gonna do what? This is gonna decrease your invoice. So instead of your invoice being 1146, your invoice is gonna be 146, but it's gonna be reduced by this 1/3 of the allowance. The instructed attorney shares of 1/3 of the fees with the instructing attorney. This reduces the fees receivables. This receivable by Langa attorney by 382. So instead of we as SA attorney, the instructed attorney receiving invoicing 1146, we're invoicing 764 because we need to pay out of that 1/3 out of that 1146, 1/3 of it has to be paid to Langa attorneys. Okay, let's go up. Electronic funds transferred to yourselves, 5,686. Electronic fund paid to yourselves. In terms making an EFT to the instructing attorney. So guys, electronic fund to yourselves. So what is yourselves? It's Langa attorney. So this is the amount of money that Langa attorney needs to receive. So let's just read more on it. So to determine the amount of the net debits on the client account of Langa attorneys, the fees received minus the expenses incurred by SA attorneys must be set off against the trust creditor account of Langa attorneys via a transfer journal. This will be the amount of the EFT to be sent to Langa attorneys. So this money, where would you record this? Elisha is saying trust cash receipts journal. Elisha is saying trust cash receipts journal. And Elisha is saying trust cash receipts journal. Kanyisile is saying trust cash payment journal. Tepiso is saying trust cash payment journal. And Lisa is saying trust cash payment journal. This will go to your trust cash payment journal. This will go to your trust cash payment journal. Which is correct. This will go to your trust cash payment journal. And then I just want to show you something on these journals. So there has to be money that will be going to the business, a transfer journal that needs to happen. There has to be a transfer journal that needs to happen. How is that transfer money calculated? Guys, can you see that there is a business cash? So this is a transfer that has to go to the business cash receipts of SA attorneys. So my question is, how did it arrive to this amount? Anyone who knows, who can tell us how this trust bank transfer, which will become a transfer journal out of the Langa trust creditor to client. Thus, how did we get to this? Anyone who knows? So guys, this is how they got to 1,814 that has to be paid to SA Attorney. So this is basically the transfer journal. How do they get to 1,814? So remember here, the SA Attorney invoiced 1,460, but there was a one-third share of fees to Langa Attorneys for 382. So basically, it's the 764 that is invoiced to Langa Attorneys, and so it's 764 plus. It's 764 plus 1050. Where is the 1050 coming from? Is the tracing cost and the sheriff's fees added together that SA Attorney paid. SA Attorney paid on behalf of Langa Attorneys. So 1,050 plus 764, you get this transfer that must be made to SA Attorneys. Are you with me? The other way to get to that 1,814 is just to go to your statement and take the collection fee minus the electronic amount paid to Langa. You also get 1,814. So there's two ways you can calculate this. So you can either say 7,500 collection fees minus the amount of money that will be paid, that will be transferred to Langa Attorneys. Please don't forget to write next to it. This will be recorded in your trust cash payment journal. How do you get to this amount, the transfer journal amount? How do you get amount of EFT to be paid into the business bank account? How do you get to this 1,814? So you can either add this invoiced amount. Where is the invoiced amount by SA Attorneys? They've invoiced 764. So you can say 764 added by the sheriff fees and tracing fees of 1,050, you get to that 1,814. Or you can go to the statement and say 7,500 collection fee minus 5,686. Are you still with me, guys? Are you still there? I want us to do an exercise. So basically this, in just a nutshell, this is how you look at a instructed attorney statement to Langa Attorney and then record this in the accounting records of SA Attorneys. I think I've went through all of these journals. Just looking, guys, I want you to notice that just for me looking at this statement, we were able to even do the journals at the same time. Did you notice that? Just looking at the statement, we were able to even do the journals. So we were able to, for you to understand what all of these journals mean. So remember, once you're able to do your journals, ledger is simple because when you go to the ledger, you're gonna debit it the way it is. So when you go to the ledger, so if now you understood how to record your journals, when you go to the ledger, you just take, you say fees, credit, in the general ledger, and client control debit in the general ledger. And this is written here. So once you understand how your journals, your ledger becomes simple. Your ledger becomes simple because can you see that here? Can you see that here? Can you see fees are credited 764 in the ledger and client control is debited in the ledger. Same with the transfer journal. Your trust creditors control will be debited with 1,814. Client control will be credited with 1,814. Trust cash payment. Your trust creditor, your trust bank will be credited in the general ledger with 5,686. Your trust creditor will be debited in the general ledger with 7,500. And this is the bank account in the general ledger, B2. This is the trust creditors account in the general ledger, B3. I want to show you how to record transaction in the instructing attorney's books. Because now we just did accounting records in the instructed attorney's books. So I want us to do in the instructing accounting, in the accounting records of the instructing attorney. I want the instructing. Recording correspondent accounting records of the instructing attorney. Guys, you need to be able to understand how to record. Presently now, we just recorded transaction in the instructed attorney's books. Now, you need to understand how to record it in the instructing attorney's books. In this section, in the accounting records of the instructed attorney, there will only be transaction recorded in terms of the instructing attorney. When the accounting records of the instructing attorney are prepared, there will be accounts for both the client and the instructed attorney. So this is it. This is the statement that we just did, but now we're recording it in the books of the instructing attorney, not in SA attorney's books, but in Langa attorney's books. So you need to understand what is this collection fees in the books. What is the 7.5 in the books of Langa attorneys? So if in the books of the instructed attorney, this was recorded in the trust cash receipts journal. Where do you think this will be recorded in the books of the instructing attorney, the 7.5? So now, remember guys, we're recording this in the books of Langa attorneys. So this is so important, the steps. Let's see what they say. Langa attorneys, instructing attorney should apply the following steps to account for the transactions. Step 1, receipt of correspondent account statement and electronic fund transfer. When an account statement to which an EFT is attached, is received from instructed attorney, the most important duty of the instructing attorney is to immediately issue a trust receipt on receipt of deposit in the trust bank account. It follows that the instructing attorney must credit the trust creditor account with the amount, namely SA attorneys. So the T account is Trust Bank 5,686 will be debited, and SA attorney trust creditor will be credited with 5,686. Remember where this is it. Which one is this? This is the amount electronic fund transferred that they received from SA attorneys after they've performed their work. So in the books of Langa attorneys, this will be something that will be recorded in your trust receipt journal. So this will be recorded in your trust receipt journal. Can you see? This one will be in the books of, this is what they received. Why is this, guys, being recorded in the trust cash receipt journal? Why is this 5,686 recorded in the trust cash receipts journal of Langa attorneys? It's recorded in the trust cash receipts because this is money collected on behalf of the client, Enoth. That's why it's yes, 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 Lihlo. It's client money, yes. It's recorded in the client's cash, in the trust cash receipts, because this is amount received on behalf of Enoth. Okay. The next step is to record all the entries appeared on the account statement. Every entry made by the instructed attorney on the account statement is the result of such attorney acting on the instruction of the instructing attorneys. Langa attorneys. Each entry must be analyzed and recorded in the relevant journal after distinguishing between business transaction and trust transaction. The following entries are made. To transfer 7,500 to the trust creditor's account. So you trust creditor 7,500, SA attorney is going to be debited. Enoth is going to be credited with 7,500. So guys, I want to go back to this one. I want you to notice something. Where was I? We're busy recording the transaction in the instructing attorney's books. Did I go too far? Let me go back to that account statement. Just want to go back to that account statement. Where is that account statement? Where is that account? This is the account statement I was talking about. So guys, in the books of Langa attorneys, excuse me, In the books of Langa Attorneys, guys, 5,686 is recorded in the Trust Cash Receipts Journal. And do you remember where this was recorded in the books of SA attorneys? Anyone who remembers? In the books, so the electronic fund transfer to yourselves. Yes, yes, the Trust Cash Payment Journal. Well done. And I want you to notice something. There's something I want you to notice with that. So if SA attorney, the instructed attorney, transferred 5,686, they paid that 886. Am I right to say in the books of um, um, in the books of Langa attorneys, that will be a receipt? I want you to be with me. Are you with me where I am now? Are you do so if in the books of SA attorneys, the instructed attorney, if, not even if, so the instructed attorney transferred 5,886 into the trust bank. So in the trust cash payment journal, it was a payment, but definitely now it makes sense that in the books of Langa attorneys, it shows as a receipt. That's why they're recording it in the trust cash receipts journal. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? So this one, to transfer the 7,500 to the trust credit account eNorth. So the next step is to record all the entries appearing on the account statement. Every entry made by the instructed attorney on the account statement is the result of such attorney acting on the instruction of the instructing attorneys, Langa attorneys, to collect money from ZNorth on behalf of eNorth. Each entry must be analyzed and recorded in the relevant journal after distinguishing clearly between business transaction and trust transactions. The following entries are made. So SA attorneys trust creditor will be debited with 7,500, and eNorth trust creditor will be SA attorneys eNorth will be debited, and eNorth trust creditor SA attorneys will be credited. The entry is made in order to transfer cash collected by SA attorneys to the trust creditors account of eNorth. eNorth is a client of Langa attorneys and is accountable to him. Are you with me, guys? I want you to understand this, what's happening here. Can you see what's happening? So I want you, for you to understand this, I want to go back to this. Let me go back. So in the books of the instructed attorney, the instructed attorney debited trust bank and credited trust creditor, Langa attorneys. Remember, so in the instructed attorney's books, this was debit trust bank and credit trust creditor, Langa attorneys. Now, in the books of Langa attorneys, so in the books of SA attorneys, it was credit Langa attorneys. Now, when you go now, let's just go down. So when you go to the books of Langa attorneys, SA attorneys, $7.5, trust creditor. Do you understand why SA attorneys is debited? It's saying this amount here is owed to Langa attorneys by SA attorneys. And then they're now crediting, what? eNorth. So basically, this journal is basically saying that SA attorneys owes 7.5 to eNorth. And now eNorth is being owed by SA attorneys 7.5. So this is basically a transfer journal. Let's just go down. This is basically a transfer. This is just a recovery, amount recovered. So basically it is SA attorneys trust creditor needs to be debited because this is the 7.5 that they collected, they owe to eNorth, and then eNorth is credited 7.5. So this is amount recovered from zNorth, 7,500. So basically now, let's just go up. So in this will go to your, I think this is a general journal. What is it? Yes. So in the books of the instructing attorney, the 7.5, the 7,500 will go to general journal. So in the books of Langa attorneys, these fees and these collection commission, in which account will this go in? So this is the money that SA attorney invoiced Langa attorneys. So in the books of Langa attorneys, what is it? What is it in the books of Langa attorneys? Please, somebody, please mute your mic. Please mute your mic. So basically now, we want to see now. So business cash payment journal. Somebody saying, who is that? Can you see they saying business cash payment journal? Can you see they saying business cash payment journal? So I want you to add up 1, 2, 3, 4. Elisha is saying fees journal in the books of Langa attorneys. So guys, I want you to add up this fees of receiving instruction, add up fees for issuing Simons, add up tracing fees, add up sheriff's fees, add up collection commission. How much do you get when you're adding up all of these? So add up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How much do you get? So all the amount that you're adding is all the amount that is due to SA attorneys. So you're adding up all of these. How much is it? 330, 66, 450, 600, and 750. How much is it when you add up all of these? How much do you get? 2196. 2196. So basically all of these, this is where these amounts are going to be recorded. Amount owing to SA attorneys, 2196. So the 2196 is going to reduce the amount that SA attorneys needs to pay, that is owing to eNorth. So SA attorney owes eNorth 7,500, but they're gonna deduct 2196. So 7,500. 7,500 debit. Can you see? 7,000 debit, and then here minus 2196. So basically what SA attorney owes is 5,304. So here, in this instance, these two entries happen to have same totals, but in practice, this not necessarily be the case. Fees for instructing, this is what we just did now. This is what I said you need to calculate. So basically all of these also will be recorded. So This will be recorded in your general journal. This will be recorded in the general journal, general journal, general journal, general journal, and general journal. And remember, this is recorded way. This is recorded way, the 5,686. Trust Cash Receipts Journal. So let's just look this 382. Where is this 382 being recorded? 382. This is the same as that amount was it 1,814 for the instructed attorney. So this is the amount that Langa attorney will be receiving, the 382. So Langa attorney will be receiving 382, which is the amount of money that they've invoiced. The share, or remember the share of fees. Yes, it's the fees journal. This is the fees journal. Remember, this is the amount of money that SA attorney invoiced, but that money, they're getting 1/3 of it. So this is the fees journal. And then this also will go as the transfer journal to the business bank account. So basically the 382 will be recorded in the fees journal and also in the business cash receipts journal. This is the money that they receive, which is the 1/3 of the invoice that SA attorney invoiced Langa attorneys. So guys, this is basically it, recording in the accounting records of the instructing attorneys. Can you see? So basically, I think when you're doing the accounting statement, the most important thing is you need to understand what is happening. You can't just guess. By you understanding what's really happening, you are able to do this accounts. So guys, before we knock off, I just want to quickly do this exercise with you. And anybody who wants to leave can just leave. Sorry for like taking your time, but I just want to do this exercise with you. I want to just quickly do this exercise with you. Guys, okay, this was a May-June exam 2018. So I took it from there. Was one of the exams. The time UNISA used to do exams, not online. So basically the question is, T. Bates and Company collected 24,000 on the instruction of Dlamini attorneys and submitted the following statement to you as the accountant of the law firm. So in this example, T. Bates and Company is the instructed attorney. Dlamini Attorneys is the instructing attorney. So the question is, please select the correct answer. So basically, this is 5 multiple choice question. So the first question is, what is the collection fees? This is basically the collection commission, number 1. Is it 2,400? Is it 1,000? Is it 1,200? Is it 2,374? So basically, number 1, is it A, B, C, or D? Okay, Alicia is saying it's A. Kanyisile is saying it's 1,000. That's the limit. Kanyisile is saying it's 1,000. And Dilihlo is saying also A. So Alicia is saying A, Lihlo A, and Kanyisile is saying B. Somebody's saying no, wait, laugh out loud, 1,000 limit. Lihlo is saying no, wait, 1,000 limit. So the answer is A, B, C, or D. Okay, Lihlo is saying B. Guys, well done. Well done to Kanyisile to pick up that the 1,000 cannot exceed 1,000. Well done to Kanyisile on that. The answer is B. The answer is definitely B. And then number 2, what is your share? What is a share of Dlamine's attorney's allowance? What is the share? Is it A, B, C, or D? So guys, the answer is, you're gonna tell me what the answer is. So the answer is, you need to add up fees for receiving 1,200, fees for issuing 3,000, correspondence 122, drawing up of acknowledgement of debt 1,800, plus collection fee of 1,000 rand times 1 divided by 3. That is the answer. So are you with me, guys? The answer for number 2 is 1,200 plus 3,000 plus 122 plus 1,800 plus 1,000 collection fee times 1 divided by 3, which makes the answer. Sheriff fees is not part. It's not part of the share of allowance. Sheriff fees, so add up 1,200 plus 3,000 plus 122 plus 1,800 plus 1,000 times 1 divided by 3. So basically take 6,622 minus 500 plus 1,000. How much do you get? And then times 1 divided by 3. So the answer for number 2 is 6,622. Yes, it's C. The answer is C, guys. The answer is 2374. Okay, let's go to number 3. Number 3 is, what is the check that will be paid to Dlamini attorneys? Number 3. What is the check that will be paid to Dlamini attorneys? So the option is A, B, C, D. So basically, we're going to do what? You're going to say 24,000 plus 2, which is 2374. So 24,000 plus 2374 minus 6622 minus 1,000. How much do you get? 24,000 plus number 2, which is 2374, gives you the total, minus 6622 minus 1,000. How much do you get? So are you with me, guys? I'm gonna say 24,000 plus 2374 plus 2374 minus 6622 minus 1,000 rand. How much? What is the answer? A, B, C, or D? What is the answer? You are correct, guys. The answer is B, 18752. So yes, that's well done. The last two questions is the same. What is the answer for 4 and 5? It's the same answer. 4 and 5 is the same answer. What is the answer? Four and 5 is one answer. What is it? So the question is, what is number 4 and 5? And these are the options A, B, C, D. So basically it's asking what is the total of here and the total of here, which is number 4 and number 5. I don't know if you understand. So the question is, what is number 4? What is number 5? What is the total of the side? What is the total of the side? Khaswan is saying C. Khaswan is saying C. Khaswan is saying C. So Khaswan basically saying C for 4 and 5. And which is 26,374.